Hello guys, you beautiful, wonderful people. How are you all doing? Welcome back to another episode of the new and improved and very nostalgic transfer target, where we go through all these names at the bottom and talk about Manchester City and where they fit on this kind of little beautiful transfer target that we got here. We try and work out how close transfers actually are. And we got loads to talk about today, absolute loads. I would say hello to everyone who's already joined as well. So many people already here in the stream. Please do me a massive favour. Let's get those likes up as soon as we can. It helps the algorithm, the more people find the video. Get the video a like, and also please do hit the subscribe button while you're at it. It's absolutely massively appreciated. Let's get to 62,000. I only need 85 more subscribers as I'm recording this video right now. 85 to get to 62,000. Please do hit that subscribe button. So yeah, today we've got loads of names to go through. I'm going to quickly though, as always, say thank you to OneFootball, the beautiful people over at OneFootball. They've been supporting my channel for like 5 years now. The length of the contract for people like Bernardo Silva, if not longer. So please do me a massive favour. Scan that QR code next to my face there. Which side is it? It's that side. Or click the link in the description and get up-to-date news on every team, every player and every goal from across the world of football. All your Manchester City breaking news sent straight into your phone with the wonderful app that is OneFootball. It's as beautiful as a Cole Palmer curler, as devastating as a Raheem Sterling dribble, and loads more. So do it right now. Download OneFootball. Do me a massive favour. Do yourself a massive favour. Do what's sensible. Scan that QR code. Click the link in the description. You're all good. So there's loads to talk about here. We've got the bottom. The names we're going to talk about today are Nathan Ake, Gavin Bazunu, Raheem Sterling, Rayan Ait-Nouri, Marc Cucurella, and Oleksandr Zinchenko. Daniel saying about Sterling, even with a year left, surely worth 50 million. Daniel, we will get to that, my friend. I know Bazunu's gone, but I've got him here right away, and I'm going to grab Bazunu in and put him over here because that is one that is done. So I haven't done a video about Bazunu going yet, so here we go. Gavin Bazunu is right in the middle because it's red ring as well around him, because Gavin Bazunu has left Manchester City Football Club. I've not done a video since that happened. I've got to wish him good luck, really. I think it's probably the right move for all parties involved. I'm very happy for him. He's a Premier League player now, hopefully a Premier League #1. I do think it's a good, sensible move, and I think once again, actually, this is a very positive thing to look at the CFG in general. Young players will see that they come to Manchester City Football Club, and if they don't quite get to the first team, and it was always going to be hard for Bazunu as well, given Ederson exists. Bye Zeno, indeed, says Guy in the comments. Well, if you don't quite make it, they could end up in the Premier League after some good loans. So I think all together, this is a successful bit of business from Manchester City. It's worked out for City. They've made about a 10, 11, 12 million profit on him. The CFG has been vindicated. And also, we've got a buyback on a potential Premier League goalkeeper who's got a lot of good faith towards us because he essentially gave him a really good career, So a few quick thoughts there on Bazunu, and I'm very happy to announce I think it's a good deal, A good buyback clause, all that kind of stuff. He gets to play in the Premier League, and if a few years from now we want a new goalkeeper, I'm sure he wouldn't hold it against us. So I think it's a good bit of business, man. It's the right decision. Yeah, I agree with Guy. Guy said in the comments, I think he's made the right decision. Also, I believe even though his buyback is 40 million, the fact we have a 20% clause, sell-on clause means it's around 30 million if you want him paying back. Yeah, I agree. I think it's sensible. Matthew, thank you so much. Matthew's become a member. Thank you so much, Matthew. Absolute legend. Really appreciate that, Matthew. You beautiful person. Matthew Cannon. Thank you so much, mate. But yeah, that's some quick thoughts there on Bazunu. Who should I go for next? We've got Ake, we've got Sterling, we've got Rayan Ait-Nouri, Cucurella. Those two are pretty much linked, I would say, and Zinchenko. All three of them are linked. Let me know in the comments who you want to go for next. I feel like we probably should go for Sterling. It probably should be Sterling. He's the big news here. Raheem Sterling. Now, this little guy, where is he? Raz here. I'm going to kind of put him here. He's in the corner, so it means we're talking about him. If he's in the corner, it means we're talking about him, right? So he's down here. He's ready to move. So Sterling. Right, Sterling. The reports here are a bit crazy. So this morning, earlier on today, 6 hours ago actually, around midday, Di Marzio, he's a big journalist, Gianluca Di Marzio, he's a Sky Sport international reporter, football transfer expert and all that kind of stuff. He said that Chelsea are confident of closing a deal for Raheem Sterling for around £35 million, which to me seems insanely cheap. It seems really cheap. Very cheap, but there's been so much things that's essentially bounced off that. Ben Ransom at Sky Ben Ransom probably thinks that £35 million is a ransom fee, and Ben said it would take near £60 million for City to sell Sterling in a transfer window, which sounds a bit more realistic if we're being honest. Big love to Josh Hodgkins, by the way. Josh Hodgins, who's did a super chat. Josh, you're a legend. No question there, mate, but thank you so much, Josh. So yeah, Ben Ransom at Sky said 60 million. And Sam Lee, our very own Sam Lee, and Simon Johnson, who's also for the Athletic writer, they said that Chelsea are confidently complete a deal for Sterling. Apparently he's been talking to people about what life is like at Chelsea and what Thomas Tuchel's like. And one Chelsea source apparently believes that the only stumbling block is not the player, but it's actually the size of the fee. Now, according to Matt Law at the Daily Telegraph, Chelsea have not yet opened any talks with City over Sterling or discussed how much they might be prepared to pay for the player. So that's very different once again there. There's loads of little bits of information coming off this. Now, according once again to Sky Sports News, Chelsea believe a fair price for Sterling would be closer to the £35 million, which Bayern ended up paying for Sadio Mane. Which is interesting, man. It's interesting. Though Chelsea, according to, once again, Gary Jacob, who was another reporter at the Times, says that he repeats that Ben Ransom line that Chelsea have been told they need to pay 60 million. So there's an awful lot to unpack there. I want to say once again, thank you as well to Mr. T with the super chat. Mr. T, thank you so much, Mr. T. Mr. T dropping the super chat. So we'll address the £35 million. That's cheap. Now, the idea that Chelsea think £35 million is what, is fairer, given the fact that they paid... that Bayern paid that for Sadio Mane is absolute nonsense. For one, we're looking at Mane here, and Mane is... How old's Mane? How old is he? Mane. He's 30 years old. So he's a few years older, a couple of years older than Sterling. He's also going to the Bundesliga. So you've got the English tax. The fact that, he's coming from the Premier League champions, the fact that he's younger, the fact that, once again, the English thing... I don't think it's the same. You can't turn around and look at that. I think the fee that Jesus will go to Arsenal for is much more relative to where we're at here. 30, Mane and Sterling, you cannot compare those. I think that what the reports from people like Gary Jacob and Ben Ransom are saying for around 60 million, I think that's a lot more realistic. I think it's going to be around that, if we're being honest, man. I do think City will sell. I absolutely do. I think City will sell if around 50 million plus comes in, which seems really cheap still. It seems really cheap. It's interesting to read the reports that suggest that City won't actually replace Sterling if he does go, that they'll just take the money, even if Gabriel Jesus and Sterling goes. A lot of people are probably fairly going, that's a bit crazy to go from Jesus and Sterling to essentially Cole Palmer and then Alvarez, and Mahrez, basically. It feels like an awful lot. There are some reports that Cole Palmer could be given an awful lot of chances next season. Understandably, people are going, well, he's a kid, and Sterling's a different profile. You're absolutely right to suggest that Sterling is he's a very different profile. He's a speedy winger. He runs at people, whereas people like Cole Palmer is an inverted winger who'll cut him. And it offers a very different thing, where people like Sterling, they are all movement and goal threat at the back post and all that kind of stuff. Where we don't get that. We don't get that deal. Someone said, get your head out your arse thinking you're City's financial expert. He has a year left. Yeah, guess what? So does Gabriel Jesus, and we're going to get 50 million. So did Leroy Sané, and we got 50 million. So did Hazard, and Chelsea got like 90 million for Hazard for Real Madrid for a year left. I don't think Mane's literally older and going to another league. I'm sorry, but the fact that he's English, mate, and the fact that he's younger does make a difference. Year left or not, 50 million for Sterling is still an absolute bargain. It is. So for me, I absolutely agree that the idea that Sterling has a different profile, and I do agree that that's an issue. I personally feel like if Sterling goes, we'll just change how we play. I think we probably just have to accept that the way Man City are going to play next season will be different. Could it work? Might it not work? I don't know. It is difficult because it might be a little bit too much. I can admit that it might be too many changes and it might not work. But at the same time, I personally do feel that if Sterling goes, we do change how we play. I think the links to people like Cucurella shows that we're going to probably play overlapping fullbacks. So imagine every now and then we'll see Cucurella at left back. You might even see Cancelo at right back. Overlapping fullbacks with inverted wingers. The likes of Palmer and Mahrez on that side, of course. You might even see Foden out there every now and then. Of course, you might see Grealish cutting in on the other side. It'll probably just change, and you got to accept that. Alan Cruikshank saying, enjoy your content, Steve. Thank you so much. Are you guys liking the new transfer target, by the way? This new idea? I personally really like it. If you are a fan, please do hit the like button. Let's get the likes up. So in terms of where we're at with this, I reckon Sterling going to Chelsea. I don't think it's like in the middle, done. I would say it's still on the outer rings around here. I'm going to put him around here somewhere. And it's not over here. Like, I don't think it's unlikely, but I think it's possible, but I'm going to put him around here. I don't think it's proper on the outer ring around here. I think there's a chance that he does go, simply because he has got the year left in the contract, and I think he has been given... I think Chelsea probably have given some kind of encouragement. Bad format, says Max. Well, Max, I disagree, pal. And I've been talking about the transfer, indeed. My personal feeling is that there is some legitimacy to this. I think in general... there's an idea that he could go, but I still think it's a little bit of time off. Like, I don't think it's close, but I do think we have to pay attention to this idea. I think there's relative legitimacy to the idea that Sterling could go, unfortunately. I don't think, like, I personally, it's all right, Max, don't worry. But I personally believe that, I don't know, I feel if a good number comes in, City won't let him leave in a year from now. I want him to stay. I absolutely want him to stay. I feel like he could absolutely... I think he could revel in life alongside Haaland, personally. And I think a lot of people questioned his form, which is understandable. But for me, Sterling, I think he has to stay. I'm going to put him more in the centre of this ring, because I still think it's a little bit of time off, a little bit further off than we realise. He has to stay, in my personal opinion. I think, honestly, his form will be back to its very, very best. If he does go, it won't be for 35 million. That is absolutely ridiculous. It's just too much. Let's go on to Nathan Ake. So Ake, just put him over here in the corner for now. But you know what? Ake's probably going to stay roughly around the corner anyway, because I think it's this far out. There were some rumours that Thomas Tuchel is a fan of Nathan Ake. Ake, can anyone see him going? Look, Chelsea probably are interested in him, but I don't think Ake really wants to tread that same path again. I can't really see it, man. Nathan Ake, baby, indeed, man. I think Ake will stay. I think there was encouragement at the end of the season for him. I think he enjoyed his football towards the end of the season. He's still very much a backup, but I think he's probably aware that, he's only an injury away from being a starter for Manchester City, or a little bit of bad form or something like that. And I actually agree with Kubrick in the comments. He said it's 55 million absolute minimum for Ake. Yep. You're looking at least 50 million, 55 million. So for me, he's very much on the outside here, like down here somewhere, I'm going to put him in the top here over here. Like, it's not likely. He's on the outside. Ake isn't going anywhere for me. Right over on the outside. It's very, very, very unlikely. Gamers Bench, by the way, saying Sterling will stay, in my opinion. Hopefully you're right, man. Ake, I'm only quickly glossing over Ake because I don't think he wants to leave. I don't think Chelsea are going to bring the money. So I think he's going to stay personally. He's a really good player, Ake, man, and I want him to stay. Ake did say he's staying as well, apparently. I think he said he enjoyed his football. He's a very good player, Ake. He's better than you realise, Liverpool fan in the chat. He's a really good footballer, man. You've only got to look at his performances against Atletico in the Champions League. He was absolutely excellent. Now, these three here, these are all intrinsically linked. I'm going to start with Rayan Ait-Nouri here, man. Like, this guy, this is another one to me, which is right down on the outskirts over here. There's no way this guy's coming to Manchester City. Some reports today suggested that City were linked to him for around £45 million, which is interesting. Very interesting. That's from Alan Nixon. I actually think I think £45 million would be what Wolves asked, but I don't think City are actually interested in the Wolves fullback. City were actually interested. We were linked to him before he went to Wolves, when he was where was he at? The French club. I can't remember where he was at. He's a good player from what I can tell, a really good wing back, and he's done well. He's adapted to life in the Premier League really well. But I personally don't think... I think he's very much someone that he's been linked because of these guys, to kind of like draw them out and use them essentially as a bargaining tool. I don't think it's for any coincidence that Rayan Ait-Nouri and David Raum, the German fullback... Is he German? I can't remember. I know he's played in the Bundesliga. I don't think it's a coincidence that we've been linked to those two players. I think it is a ploy. I agree with Mo in the comments. I think basically we are just letting Brighton know that Marc Cucurella isn't the be-all and end-all. Having said that, we can't really talk about, the fullbacks without talking about Cucurella. Now, Cucurella, to me, is still very much around here on the transfer target. I still think he's not close, which close would be around here somewhere. He's not far off. I think he's somewhere in the middle. Cucurella's around here somewhere. He's a quality footballer, and I think Cucurella wants to come to Manchester City. I think we pretty much all know that that's true. The reports yesterday said that Cucurella believes a move will happen and that Guardiola will take his game to another level. I don't think there's any really movement on this, but I do think City are essentially flirting around the idea. And I think Cucurella, you look at these transfers, I think Cucurella would hint at a kind of change of style of play. If Sterling goes, he would lose the profile. But I do think we go to overlapping fullbacks. Cucurella, to me, I think is still more likely to happen than not likely to happen. I want him in a Manchester City shirt as well. I really do. I like this idea. I think he's a quality footballer. I think he would honestly go to another level under Guardiola. He's a complete package. Great going forward. Good defensively. Look, we've often sat and kind of admired how great Liverpool's fullbacks are going forward. Cucurella reminds me a little bit of what a Liverpool fullback would be, like Robertson or something like that. Just a complete fullback, offers so much, and I really want him. Tenacious, technical, excellent, can go forward, and as Max said, suits our style to a T. Look, he's a potentially world-class fullback. Get him in my opinion, and I do not think we would regret it whatsoever. And I do think it's probably going to happen, man. I do think there's a chance it could happen. We will see. Fingers crossed he does. Who else have we got here? We got Zinchenko. Zinny, now, some reports. What does everyone reckon? Zinchenko, to me, he's probably not quite as far out as some of these guys, but I'll probably put him a little bit in. I do think there's a small chance that Zinchenko goes, but I still think it's quite far off. So I'm going to kind of put him around here somewhere, on the edge of the ring. A little bit more in than Ake. Probably not quite. He's probably similar to Sterling that way. Like, I think there's a chance that Zinchenko could go, but I think he's relatively far off still. I don't think it's unrealistic. Charlie reckons he will go. The one thing I will say is that Zinchenko feels an awful lot of love towards Man City in terms of how we treated him, the experiences he's gone through. There's a small chance he leaves, man. There's a small chance he leaves. I don't know how long he's got left in his contract. Someone asked this. We'll see, man. We'll see. Julian Alvarez just asked the question, by the way. Said, I've heard whispers about João Felix right wing thoughts. I've not heard those whispers, Dylan, personally. I think he's a very different player. I don't think he's a winger. He's a very good footballer, João Felix, Dylan. But I don't really think that'll happen, mate. I don't think it will, personally. But it'd be interesting. I wouldn't say no. Jake's pointed out there's 2 years left on Zinchenko. Yeah, so has a few people. I think he'll stay. The only reports, though, are that he wants to play in midfield, which is why he could be. We saw him, of course, for Ukraine. He was absolutely excellent in midfield, man. He was excellent in midfield. And I really can see him... if he does go, I can see him going for that reason. Like, he really is such a good midfielder. But I can't see anyone... I don't know. I can't see anyone bringing the right offer to the table. I wonder if he'd want to stay in the Premier League. I wonder if he'd want to go somewhere else and change his football a little bit. He's a quality player. He's a really good footballer. I don't really think we've seen the best of Zinchenko yet either, which is really exciting, actually, man. Really exciting. Honestly, I feel like he could actually go up another level. But will he get that chance at Man City in midfield? I don't know if he will. One thing I do believe is that Guardiola trusts him, and I do believe that he's liked. I loved as well in the last game of the season. His energy essentially dragged us through this, man. We can't deny that Zinchenko was so crucial. In that final game, Dribblechenko, man, he was dribbling everywhere. He was taking people on. He, of course, created the chance for Rodri. His energy changed the course of that game. Obviously, other players were involved too. Sterling off the bench was crucial, and Gundogan as well. But those three, man, and Zinchenko was a big part of it. They were just absolutely excellent. You can't deny that Zinchenko's attitude is phenomenal. The guy is a cult hero. He's currently a left back. I would love to see him play midfield. I don't know if that will happen, but I'd be very, very interested to see how it goes. Thank you so much, Dylan, who's become a member. You absolute legend, man. Absolute legend. Big love to Dylan Oliver. Honestly, thank you for supporting the channel, guys. It's really, really appreciated. Got a baby on the way, man, so the support is massively appreciated. Bazunu, that's where we're at, man. Bazunu for me. Everton are reportedly interested. I think you can do better than Everton, and one of my best mates is an Everton fan. No offense, Johnny, if you're someone watching. It's just Everton right now are a bit of a mess, and I would want to see him play for a team that's more stable, like your West Hams or someone like that. Everton, surely you can do better than Everton right now. I don't think he'll go. So he's on the out. I don't think it's impossible. Like I would say, Ake is pretty much not going to happen, but I think there's something there potentially. So that's where we're at with everyone. I'm going to go talk about Sterling a little bit. I'm going to talk about Sterling a little bit more here. What's really interesting for me, Well, this is interesting actually. Yeah, so Mia Khalifa with the super chat says Alvarez might play the Muller role as a buy-in regen 2022-23. Possibly, man. Possibly. Like, you could do. Look, well, I think that you've got to consider that if Alvarez comes in, he's played right wing quite a bit. He could play the Muller role, which is a little bit deeper, more creative every now and then, not necessarily as a winger. But Alvarez can play out wide, and he's played there for River and so on. He's a quality player, Alvarez. The reports today suggested, and I think it was Sam Lee said this, that Cole Palmer could play a substantial lot more this season, and Manchester City see him as very much part of the first team squad. Cole Palmer is, of course, an inverted winger. I do think Cole Palmer is better than people realise. Really, I believe this. I think Cole Palmer is a fantastic footballer. I think he's absolutely excellent. And he's a better winger than people realise. I think he's like, he reminds me of Mahrez, but I think he's got a slight more acceleration, a better acceleration, and I actually believe he's more Man City than Mahrez, and I think he basically could end up being a better Man City player. Not a footballer, but a better Man City player than Mahrez ever was, and I don't honestly believe that's necessarily a criticism of Mahrez. I just feel like this is a guy that has been trained to be a Man City player from birth, basically. Not from birth, but from his footballing birth. So, I think Palmer is absolutely primed to be a star. His acceleration, his goal scoring, his creativity, his tight dribbling, honestly, like his movement in tight spaces is just phenomenal. So, yeah, I think he can be brilliant. Absolutely brilliant. And I think Alvarez brings something different. And I think we'll have overlapping wingers. And I think it'll be absolutely fantastic. And as Mo just said, imagine Cole and Phil in the wings. And with Haaland in the middle. It's just wonderful. 3 lifelong bursts there, man, out wide. Mo, don't get me dreaming, mate. It'll be absolutely wonderful. Dylan, thank you so much, mate. You're elite too, Dylan. Thank you. Extra Lads and Big Steve are wonderful, but I'm glad you enjoyed my channel as well. Thank you so much. I'm just trying to be me, man. You guys are lucky, by the way. There's so many great content creators these days in the City space. It's changed from years ago. I got to share those views with those guys, but they're fucking brilliant what they do, so I feel very honoured to be around with those guys. Great content creators everywhere now. But yeah, Palmer would be interesting. There's just been a bit of breaking news now. I literally just seen the tweet over on C Extra from Jacob Steinberg, who's a football reporter for The Guardian. Jacob has said that City actually think Sterling's going to leave this summer. Apparently, Chelsea will step up their interest after Lukaku goes back to Inter Milan. Fuck me, Chelsea. You messed that up big time, man. How could you get it that wrong? How could you get it that wrong? I have met Steve. He's a nice guy, Michael. I met him actually in the City store, and I also interviewed him once for City on the matchday stuff. But yeah, according to Jacob Steinberg, City expect Sterling to leave. I think there's a decent chance. I might move him even a little bit more. I'm going to move him a tiny bit more in there, so he's touching the middle ring. Yeah, I think there's a decent chance too, actually, which is interesting. I mean, if I was Sterling, I would just stay for a year. I mean, I don't get why you'd go. Just stay, man. Just stay. Just stay for 1 year, run your contract down, and get your choice of clubs in the summer. And who knows, man? You might just mess with Haaland like that, and everything could be perfect. Score a load of goals, get back in the first team, start every single week, get the contract you want. But even if you don't get the contract you want, you still get more money because you're going on a free transfer. I just don't really see any reason why. Hello to the wife in the chat, the wife and the baby bump. Hello, beautiful wife. How you doing? Hello, beautiful baby bump. City Matt as well saying Foden, Haaland, Palmer. Is there a more blue-blooded front three than that? Oh, Matt, don't get me going, man. John's like, no. Yeah, Matt would be wonderful. Absolutely wonderful. Dylan saying, imagine the best front three in Europe in a few years are Free Blues. Free Berts. Imagine, mate. Imagine. Yeah, to go to them, John, would be painful, but we'll have to see. Look, for me, he's kicking, is he? The little one's kicking. That's adorable. You can tell Sterling's unhappy at City. It's simple. If he wants to go this year to the free, that says a lot. Look, for me, I think it's just about. All right, Hakuna Matata. Watch for the lips there. You know, only I get to do the lips to Nicola. I'll allow you off as long as you get an apology. I think Sterling's probably had the conversation with Pep and City that how we will play moving forward won't suit it. Mate, I don't think so, Joe. Maybe you're right, but what it is, I think basically no player is ever guaranteed first team football. But I think he's asking for it. And I think Man City don't do it. I think he said this entirely on the player to earn it. Hugh, I won't read your surname, Hugh, Mr. Janus. Enzo signed extension, surely Pep does too. Enzo Maresca, of course, has come back to be essentially the assistant to Guardiola after Juanma Lillo. When Juanma Gono, that doesn't make any sense. Fucking hell, shut up, Stephen. But yeah, well, I don't really think so. I think Maresca, you got to bear in mind, coaches can come and go like that. So hopefully you're right, Hugh, but I think largely coaches just go whenever they want to, really, don't they? You know, clubs pay the compensation for them. So, there's a chance it means that, but also there's a chance he's just come back, got a load of money, he can go whenever he wants. I honestly think that we're going to see a change of style next season. I do really think that if Sterling goes, we'll see a different Manchester City. You got to bear in mind that we focus so much on player profiles these days as fans, and rightfully so. But sometimes you just sign a different player and you just play a different way. I want a pacey winger, can beat people and get in behind. I absolutely do. But I think if Sterling goes, we might just decide how we're going to play this year is going to be different. We're going to play inverted wingers and we're going to play overlapping fullbacks, which is interesting given that, it might mean Cancelo on the right instead of Walker every now and then, which is interesting given Walker's Walker. You don't do that. But that's fine. We might play double pivot. It might be that Phillips comes in and plays alongside Rodri every now and then. We might brush De Bruyne out wide a little bit. We might play Kevin De Bruyne. Here we go. Here's one for your Galaxy brain guys. Kevin De Bruyne on the right. Kevin De Bruyne is just going to whip in cross after cross after cross to Erling Haaland. You just never know, man. You never know. That will happen, but I'm saying there's many different ways to approach a game. And I honestly feel like we'll see a very different Man City if Sterling goes. We already do all those things. We do, but we might do them more. Yeah, and as Shoko just put in the chat, Shoko trusts Pep. Simple. And that's how I feel. Pep will relish the challenge. We'll change how we play. I don't think we'll actually go for a winger. Rafael Leao is a great player. A lot of people asking about him, Stephen in particular. Drink or not? No, I'm okay, wife. I don't need a drink. Thank you very much. So I'll have one after I finish live in a bit. But look, to be honest, I would be gutted if Sterling goes. I think we do everything to get him to stay for a year. I don't think we should cash in him. I don't see the point personally, but I understand if we want to. The one for me I don't really want to go is Bernardo. I don't want Salah. Imagine we're signing Salah, but I don't think. I think I've always sort of accepted that Sterling may go. I don't want it to go, but I wouldn't be hurt by it anymore because I've sort of accepted it. That doesn't mean it's a good idea for him to go, but I've accepted it personally if he does. Bernardo's the one I don't want to go. Bernardo, absolutely not. It would hurt me a lot as well. Jake said, do you think Adozi's ready for the Premier League? He'd be very useful, Adozi. He's a really good player. The only problem with Adozi is that he just didn't play any football really last season for the first team because of injuries and so on. Dylan said, spanning the works, Pep plays Cancelo at right wing. God, imagine, mate. He could be a winger. Back to Adozi. Adozi, I feel like, is a bit further off than we realised maybe. Interestingly enough, we've got two wingers for the under-18s who are absolutely phenomenal. They are the Sterling profile that we're craving. Daya Mabude and Carlos Borges are lightning quick, fucking ridiculously quick goal-scoring wingers who love a back post tapping and all that kind of stuff. They are the right profile, but they're too young, man. They're too young. But I would love it if Guardiola looked at him and tried him in training with the first team and realised that these lads are blisteringly fast and hopefully he realises that they've got the potential to step up. So there's many different ways to do this kind of stuff. Why don't we have any young centre-backs at CFA? We've got loads, mate. We've got loads of great centre-backs. We've got Taylor Howard-Bellis. We've got Callum Doyle was on loan at Sunderland, did really well. We've got Luke Mbete. Finley Burns is good. We've got lots of very good young centre-backs. Excellent ones, in fact. You're just getting the chance is difficult. So it's interesting to me if Sterling, I think there's a chance he goes, man. I don't think it's close. Isn't Bob a winger? Yeah, he is, but I think he's got a loan lined up, if anything, I reckon, personally. No centre-backs are close to the first team because I don't think it's gradual. I think with centre-backs, it's either you're in or not, really. And Mbete, of course, has played for the first team. We've seen that happen. CJ Egan-Riley has played at right back, but he's also a centre-back that Guardiola really likes too. Guys, please do hit the subscribe button. I need 82 more subscribers, 82 more to get to 62,000. So please do hit the subscribe button. And let's get the likes up as well when we're on stream. Let's get to 200 likes at least. Go on, we can do it. So I think we may just see a different Man City. And if I'm being honest, I don't mind. I don't mind. I think we'll change how we play. I think we can do this. I think we can adapt to Haaland and Alvarez coming in. Alvarez is a very smart winger who's going to impress a few people. He's a forward, of course, but Alvarez is also a winger, man. And he's an incredibly intelligent, versatile, dynamic, hard-working, fast, goal-scoring forward. And he's not a Sterling, of course, but you don't have to have Sterling to win the league, and you don't have to have fast wingers to win the league. I think we'll change how we play, and I've personally made my peace with that because essentially I just sort of trust him. I just sort of trust Guardiola will get it right. It's going to be really interesting to see how it unfolds. I hope we convince Sterling to stay, and I hope we convince Bernardo to stay, and I hope we don't see any more changes. But it is what it is. Keiki, I think Keiki is a bit far off personally. I think he's got a loan written all over him, Keiki, personally. I think Cole Palmer's miles ahead of him. I think McAtee's ahead of him. I think Adozzi's probably ahead of him as well. We'll see. I think Keiki's got a loan. Well, maybe another season in the EDS. But, Alvarez to me, do not sleep on this guy. Are we assuming Alvarez will play? No, I think we're assuming Alvarez will be part of the first team squad. So, yeah. I think he's going to be... You've got to remember as well, we've got 5 substitutes in the Premier League next year. I know Guardiola doesn't use them all, but I do think he'll use them to get Alvarez and Cole Palmer on the pitch so they get minutes and so on. But yeah, Alvarez absolutely will play. To me, I've assumed he's part of the first team squad. I think he's absolutely part of the first team squad, so we'll have to see. It's going to be really interesting to see how it goes. I do think we're going to see... a few changes stylistically. To summarise on the transfers, Cucurella's still pretty much around here to me. I think it's more likely. I think it's going to happen, but he's not close yet. It's not over there. Pay attention to that. Sterling, to me, he's moving towards the centre man as well, but he's round here. Still a little bit to go. Bazunu, of course, he's done. Happy for him. Well done to Bazunu there. Ake out there. Ake's miles out. I don't think it's even likely, to be honest. He's on the edge. And Zinni's sort of in the rings, but still a way to go. And Ait-Nouri, man, he's a bit further out. That's definitely not going to happen. He's a smoke screen for Cucurella. We all know that. We're not stupid. So, guys, I'm going to leave it there. I'm going to go have tea and chill with the wife. But thank you for watching this. Please let me know down in the comments if you're enjoying the new transfer target format. I personally enjoy it, man. I think it's a good visualization. I'm loving having it back personally. So please do hit the like button, subscribe. Have a wonderful evening. I'm going to rub my wife's belly because it's Father's Day. I'm going to pretend I'm close to being a dad. And I'm going to go enjoy the baby bump Father's Day. It's very, very sweet. I love you all loads. Thank you for watching. I hope you all have a good day. Happy Father's Day to all those celebrating the day and so on. You're all awesome. Thank you for watching. I'll be back tomorrow with another video. I'm going to try and do this live every single day. I know you guys seem to enjoy it. It's good fun. Catch you all in a bit. You're all wonderful. You're all awesome. Have a lovely rest of your weekend in a bit.